What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Optimize You podcast. In today's episode, we are diving in how to make lasting changes that yield lasting results that allow you ultimately to feel less frustrated and less stressed out. Let's dive into it. Okay, so this time around, we got the new year coming up. We're probably looking forward to doing some sort of activity, some sort of health and fitness improvement. But this time is different. This time we want to make it last. This time we want to make it stick. So what is going to be different? What's the antidote this time so that I don't throw in the towel after the first month, so that I don't give up once it starts to get hard and I immediately look for a different program, or I look for a different diet, or I look for a different approach, or I check what my friends are doing, or I see what a family member had success with. So maybe I try that. We'll be able to put an end to all of that so that you can look through all the smoke and mirrors, and so you can go, okay, this time it's actually going to last. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I'll give you the roadmap to keep it as simple as possible. And it starts with keeping a long-term approach, a long-term mindset. Realizing what lens you're choosing to look through is super important. What I mean by that is you need to get off the horse of, okay, I'm going to start on January 1st. And by month one, by month two, I should be able to be to X amount of pounds, and I should look this way, or I should have dropped X amount of waist sizes on my waist, or dress sizes, etc. Instead of that thinking, instead of that approach, I want you to think of a tortoise and hare approach, right? I want you to take the tortoise approach. That's a hare approach. That's the rabbit approach, meaning I need to get by X date, by X time, and I need to get there as fast as possible. And I'm going to do things that aren't sustainable. And most of the time in those scenarios, you're setting yourself up for failure immediately, because you're going into an all or nothing mindset, meaning I'm going to do everything perfect. But the second I stray from it, and the second I deviate from that plan, if I can't sustain that plan, I might as well just give up because I can't do it perfectly. And that's the thinking, and that's the thought process that's going to eliminate nine people out of 10. The second things get difficult, or the second, they get a extra email at work that keeps them there a little bit longer, so that they got to miss one workout, and they feel like, oh man, I was undefeated up until this point. I was 10 for 10 on my workouts. Now all of a sudden I'm going to miss my first workout, and then all of a sudden everything that I did beforehand up until this point, since it's not perfect, I might as well not even keep going. It's already over. I already messed up. And so that's the mindset that's going to constantly keep you stuck. Instead, what I'm going to encourage you to do is think of a more slow, or a slower approach, a progressive approach. What's one thing that I could do to be a little bit better than I did tomorrow? Not making sure that I hit every single workout, not making sure that if I'm tracking my macros, hitting every single macro perfect to the T. Because what happens is, it's great when you do it, but if you don't have the mental capacity to be able to deal with when you fail, when you don't hit it, and the immediate answer for most people in that mind state is going to be to give up. I might as well not even bother. I fell off, game over. Instead of that, I want you to think about when you do mess up, because it can be a good approach to have, to just dive 100% in. I'm not saying don't do that. You absolutely can. You will get results like that. The downside to it is being able to deal with the challenges when they do come up, the speed bumps, the roadblocks, when you do miss a workout, when you don't hit your macros, when you do cheat or overindulge, etc. It's your mindset and how you respond to those things is what's going to help keep you going. And so something as simple as one of my favorite sayings that I say is, so what, now what? If you did have a crazy episode where you went out on a work party or a holiday event and you blew way past your calories in your macros, instead of feeling bad for yourself that you self-sabotaged in the moment for one day, ask yourself, how can I be a little bit better tomorrow? What's the turnaround time? How quickly can I get back into my normal, regular routine that I've been doing all the way up into this point? Because I know what I'm capable of. And when you have that conversation with yourself, that's a much more supportive conversation. It's not a conversation in terms of, hey, after I had that binge episode, or after I went crazy at the holiday party, I have to make up and do 2 workouts now. I have to cut my calories by an extra 500 because I need to make up for all the food. If you're in that mindset, you're already beat. You're going to be experiencing 2 high highs and low lows. You're going to be riding this roller coaster. And we all know this game is about sustainability. It's about consistency. What can you do day in and day out? Not how well can you do for 1 week and then the following week you're completely off. It's can you stay afloat? And in order to stay afloat, you need to lay brick by brick each and every single day, understanding that each and every single day is not going to be perfect, but you keep showing up anyways. And that's the mindset. That's the approach that it has to take. So you can have you can have the all or nothing mindset, and you can take that into your approach, because I think it's great in terms of being able to pursue and go after your goals. If you are going to take that mindset, the thing that you have to tack onto it to be able to be successful long term is your ability to respond to setbacks. Okay, so if you're somebody who's used to hitting everything perfect, and the second you have an episode or the second you slip off and you fall off track, how you respond to that is everything, is the entire game. You're going to have usually there's going to be two popular options. One is going to be super hard on yourself. I need to make up for the lost work that I did. Or the other approach is, man, I went so far off the rails, I might as well not even keep trying anymore. Like, it's over. I'm going to throw in the towel. And if you're in one of those two scenarios and you're constantly leaning on one or two of the A or B on those options, I'm going to encourage you to create a third option here right now, which is going to harness you, which is going to leave you less frustrated, less stressed, and the higher likelihood of success, because this is all a percentage game. It's not all or nothing. It's not binary. The thing that's going to put you in a better position to be able to be successful with lower amounts of stress and a lot less frustrated is being able to forgive yourself, not okaying it, right? Like, you got to acknowledge it, that I went crazy and ate every snack that I had in the cupboard. Man, I went to the holiday party and drank a ton of alcohol, etc. Did all these things, right? Like, acknowledge that you did those things, but you have to be able to flush it as quick as possible. Go, okay, I did those things. I probably shouldn't have, probably wasn't the best choice. I had fun. Great. You need to wash it, because what are you doing now going forward is the most important thing. What can I do to be 1% better than those decisions I made the day before, where I just went completely off the rails? What are you going to do here and now? So what? Now what? So what that you did those things before? What are you going to do now? What's going to take you 1% forward and be a little bit better? And that's what I encourage you to do. We're going to keep this one short and sweet, but it's all about mindset. It's having a vision. It's being able to take the approach of the tortoise, not the hare. Because if you can take those incremental, slow, small, tiny approaches each and every single day, being 1% better than you were the previous day, be forgiving with yourself, understanding and acknowledging what you did that wasn't beneficial for you, and say, so what? Now what? I need to move forward, because I need to be a little bit better than I was before. I need to be a little bit better, not drastically, not leaps and bounds, not 10 steps ahead of what I was before, because that's going to leave you drained. It's going to put you right back in the same cycle of, man, I failed. I came short. I was trying to jump 10 steps ahead. I missed the bar. Therefore, I either give up because it was too tough, or I need to be super hard. I need to be even harder on myself. I need to make up for that, right? This makeup mindset is also sabotaging a ton of people. Instead, expect the road to be sloppy, expect it to be messy, but also hold yourself to a standard of asking yourself constantly, let me self-acknowledge and be self-aware around what did happen, what did go down that wasn't beneficial for me. But not only that, how can I be a little bit better today going forward? It's a small incremental progression that will allow you to be successful in the long term. Jesse Itzler says it amazingly, and he goes, everybody starts on January 1st to be able to do these New Year resolutions. If people committed to just developing one habit, one habit that benefits them through the entire month, and then they stacked the next month and did it again, like, and built on, month 2, they built a second habit. Month 3, they built a third habit. Instead of trying to build 50 habits and revamp exactly what they're doing to something drastically different on month 1, that's where people fail. So they're trying to be the hare, right? They're trying to be the rabbit. They're trying to go super fast. If you adopt the approach of the tortoise and you go super slow, and you just focus on doing one thing a little bit better than what you did the day before, and you keep compounding that. You could do that for month 1. Month 2, by then you should have at least a pretty good established rhythm and routine, since incrementally getting a little bit better. And then that way, at the end of the year, you have 12 new habits that you didn't have previously. Whereas before, come January 1st, you're trying to do 50 new habits. You do a fraction of them, and then you give up by the time the first month is done. Okay, so it is a slow approach, and it's all about the mindset, and looking at your time horizon and extending that out further will allow you to make the decisions necessary so that they stick this time, and so you're not banging your head against the wall, leaving yourself frustrated and then giving up. Oh man. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If it was, share it with a friend or family member. We always like to hear from you guys. Remember, having the right mindset and the right approach of incrementally getting 1% better each and every single day in the short term seems like it's not doing much. But when you extend that time horizon, assuming that approach has stayed consistent over a long enough time frame, I promise you, you won't regret it. It's not the only way, but it's a very simple way that you can accomplish your goals, keep them, and sustain them for the long term. We'll catch you guys on the next one.